Doing academic research can be overwhelming, but there's a simple 5-stage flow that you can use to make it easier, structured, and okay, I'll admit it, a little bit enjoyable using AI. A few of the steps in this flow are probably things you've already done before, but this flow reimagines them in a way that makes them simpler and pretty much less time consuming. With this strategy, you can use AI as your personal research assistant, helping you turn overwhelming research into clear, structured progress that you can actually feel good about. In this video, I'll show you 5 powerful ways to use AI for academic research and share ready-to-use prompts that I made that you can copy and try yourself. Let's dive in. The flow that I use is learn, analyze, organize, polish, and reflect. Within the learn stage, your goal is to explore the topic, break down the complex ideas of it, start spotting the gaps or questions that you can use in your research. Next, the analyze stage is all about digging into sources, summarize what you read, find some key insights, connect the ideas, and ultimately start kind of building the idea that you want your research to center on. Then comes the organize stage, where everything starts to take shape. That's kind of where you build your outline, craft your thesis, and decide how all the things you found so far fit together to paint a picture. The polish stage is your chance to refine. Let's say in the previous stage you have a rough picture. In this stage, you want to smooth it out and make it fine-tuned. So you go through, fix any issues, mistakes, smooth out your writing, make your work sound clean and professional. And finally, the reflect stage, which in my opinion is the most important, helps you review what you've learned, test your understanding, make sure everything really sticks. Before we dive into each of the 5 stages, the first thing you need to do is choose the tool that you want to use to help with your research. Me, I'm using a tool called AI Blaze. It lets you use ChatGPT on any website. And here I've got the prompts that I'll use in this video. You can use any tool you want, but this is one that I highly recommend. The first stage is the learn stage, which is all about concept iteration. And basically that's a fancy way of saying ask questions and go back and forth to understand some complex topic you're thinking about researching. And to do that, I've got this article that I'm thinking about using as a source. The first thing I like to do in this process is kind of understand the main topic or argument that's being made. So I like to use a prompt that I use for topic analysis. And basically what it does is tell the AI, act as a specific academic research assistant. It'll go through and pull out some key ideas that I can use. Kind of, like I said, think about the topic, go back and forth to understand what are the different angles this topic can be viewed from. If you really just want to understand what it is and what it means, if it's something complex, you can go through that. And what I really like about this is all about asking questions. So with AI Blaze, it's kind of summarized the topical analysis of this article that I've got here. And I can go through and ask follow-up questions. So I've asked here a follow-up question about something specific in the article. It'll go through, and this is really where I can kind of refine the idea that I have for my research. Next stage is the analyze stage, and that's where you go through, you've kind of got a rough idea of what you want to do for your research, and you go through any sources that you're thinking about using, summarize those, and extract some key ideas that you can use later on in your research. I'll get to that part soon, but for this, I've got the same article as before pulled up. I can use my prompt for summarizing. And what this does is go through and extract any key ideas, maybe some quotes that you want to use in your research, and helps you kind of build the bibliography that you're thinking about using for your research. So now we're moving on to the organize stage. This is where you take all the stuff you've compiled so far, so your summaries, your quotes, the ideas that you have, you turn it all into one kind of organized, cohesive outline with structure, a thesis statement, and the argument that you really want to use in your research. So here I've got the study that we looked at the first time, another study that I've summarized, and I've got it all in one document. So I go through, I have a prompt that I use for generating an outline and a thesis. So it reads through the studies that I've summarized so far, the sources, the ideas for those, helps me come up with a good thesis statement based on the arguments made in those. So here it's got my thesis statement, kind of using the findings from those sources, and kind of compiles it all into one nice outline that I can read, give feedback on, make changes, anything that I need to do for my research. Next is the polish stage. This is pretty important because it's always nice to have another pair of eyes on your work, get some feedback, catch any mistakes that you didn't catch. So what I've done here, I've got my thesis statement and my outline generated before, and I wrote a little bit of a draft here for my paper, broke it up into the different paragraphs. And so what this can do is I have a prompt for proofreading, and what it does is go through my outline, my thesis, my draft, catch any mistakes, and kind of revise that for me, call out anything that I need to improve, structure-wise, grammar, argument-wise, review the strengths, some weaknesses, some things that I need to improve on, expansion of my argument, improving the reasoning. Overall, this is a great step to include when you're using AI. Just go through, proofread your work, catch mistakes, and really solidify your argument. This last stage is the reflect stage. For me, this is the most important because once I finish writing this paper or information, for me, a lot of times I just forget the information. So what this does is kind of take all the notes you've taken, important information, and reinforces that. It helps you study it and kind of keep it in place. So what I've done is I have a research assignment. I wrote a paper on a topic in biology. I have my notes from the paper written here. What I want to do is kind of study this to help kind of reinforce it. So what I have is a prompt here, study and review. Takes my notes that I've written, turns it into a study session that I can go through and start answering questions. And so what it does, I tell it to start. It starts quizzing me on the notes that I have and go through each of the questions. Give me a question, I type my answer, it'll give me feedback and help me learn and study. So that's the full 5-stage flow for using AI in academic research. Remember, this whole process is about turning overwhelming research into structured progress that you can feel good about. When you follow this flow and the stages that I've shown you, AI is not really just a tool, it's more of a study partner that helps you think deeper, stay organized, kind of build some confidence in your study habits and your research. You can copy all the 5 prompts I use in this video in the description below. Start using them right away in AI Blaze. And if this helped you, give the video a like and subscribe for more ways to study smarter, write better, and use AI with purpose. Thanks.